Well, welcome everyone. Especially want to welcome Bishop Sticka and Cardinal Regali and all of you here today for this great opportunity just to hear more about our schools. And I want to welcome Lisa Schultz. She's our lead evaluator, who's the superintendent for the Archdiocese of Louisville. And then she will introduce her team and give the report, and then Bishop will have a few comments at the end.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to have served as the lead evaluator for the external review here in the Diocese of Knoxville this week. I am certainly very privileged to have been joined by 7 other wonderful colleagues from across the country who have great experience in Catholic education, and I'd like to give them the opportunity now to introduce themselves to you. And Carrie, why don't we start with you?
I'm a retired principal from the Archdiocese of Indianapolis.
Michelle Pryor, Assistant Superintendent for the Diocese of Evansville in Southern Indiana.
Marie Williams, Principal of Wrights Memorial High School in Evansville, Indiana.
Oops. I pressed the wrong button. I'm going to give myself an improvement priority in technology. There we go. Many of you are already familiar with Advance Ed, but for those of you that are not, Advance Ed is a worldwide leader in school accreditation. They are now working with over 32,000 institutions serving 20 million students worldwide. And I know that many of the schools here in the Diocese of Knoxville have had a long relationship with Advance Ed. When we talk about accreditation, it's really good to know that it is an international protocol that we in Catholic education choose to voluntarily be a part of, so that we have that choice and option, and you're really committing yourselves and your institutions and your systems to ongoing improvement. The process is conceived in order to build capacity of the system and its schools, so that both the system and the schools are collaborating, working together, and all pulling in the same direction to take advantages of all of the resources and the energy that is there, and to work together on challenges and issues both at the system and the school level. And ultimately, the system model really is about energy and stimulating discussion and conversation about how do we all work together for the benefit of all and still continue to honor the diversity among all of the schools that are part of the system. As part of the process, there is a component known as the external review. And this is a diagnostic process. Just like when we go to our doctors, we don't get a diagnosis immediately. We do a lot of tests. We do a lot of preparation there so that those results can be looked at and then a diagnosis made. So we're looking in the world of education at what is the impact of teaching and learning. We're looking at a lot of areas associated with that. That's the heart of what we do. We're looking at the capacity of the leadership, both at the system as well as the individual school level. And we're also looking at how are the resources that are there, how are they being used. And when the external review takes place, a team, like all of us here, will come into the diocese, and we will look at all of the results of the self-study, all of the evidence. We conduct interviews. We go on site and do classroom observations. And then through our professional discussion and discernment and experience and expertise, we then identify powerful practices, opportunities for improvement, improvement priorities, and then we also share with you an index of educational quality so that you're familiar with what your picture is, what the results indicate for your system, and then ultimately we make a recommendation regarding the accreditation status. Since we arrived on Monday, we have interviewed 212 stakeholders. You can see the breakdown there. So we've met with the leadership here at the Chancery, Bishop, Sister Mary Marta, Sadana, the other members of the Chancery staff, school leaders, teachers, parents, and students. So it's wonderful to look at 212 people in just 2.5 days. It really speaks to the involvement of all of you and all of the stakeholders as well. The external review and our report is divided into 3 thematic areas. And the first of those is teaching and learning impact. And we look at many things. Again, that's the heart of what we do in education and definitely in Catholic education. We looked at the student performance results. We looked at the instructional quality and learner and family engagement there as part of the self-study that the system and schools did. We're looking at support services. We're looking at the efficacy and the quality of the curriculum and also college and career readiness data. And as Catholic schools, we're also looking at that information about the ACRE. We're looking at other things that we would identify as important to teaching and learning. And in teaching and learning, we have a powerful practice. And a powerful practice is one that is notable, conspicuous, not just here in the Diocese of Knoxville, but across schools and school systems as well. And the powerful practice that we have is the diocese establishes and maintains a clearly defined and comprehensive student assessment system. And for each of our powerful practices, opportunities for improvement, and improvement priorities, we give evidence and rationale. How do we know that, and why is it important? So for this particular powerful practice, all diocesan and school personnel maintain and consistently use a comprehensive assessment system, both local and standardized, that produce data from multiple assessment measures. These measures inform the schools and dioceses about student learning and performance. The comprehensive assessment system ensures consistent measurement across all classrooms, courses, and educational programs. You're to be commended for that. We have an opportunity for improvement. The opportunities for improvement, or OFIs, you may see them recorded as that, are recommendations and suggestions based on things that you may have surfaced yourself in the self-study, and then based on our observations and our experience and expertise as Catholic school educators. They're recommendations and suggestions for your discernment to look at and make decisions about whether you would like to pursue those or not. And the first one is to improve student achievement across all subgroups through the use of collaborative structures that enhance the use of best instructional practices. And you had identified that as part of your self-study and as part of your continuous improvement plan moving forward. And the reason that that's important, and the reason that we're affirming that and encourage you to continue to pursue that further, is that while many effective instructional practices were observed by us as the external review team across all 10 schools, classroom observations indicated there are opportunities to increase and enhance those practices in differentiation, monitoring of student progress, and providing feedback. Increased opportunities for teachers to work together to share knowledge and best practices will improve the frequency and consistency of differentiated strategies and interventions within and across school communities. We have a second opportunity for improvement that we would recommend, and that is to communicate system news, accomplishments, initiatives, and improvement plans to all stakeholders in a timely and organized fashion. In our evidence and rationale, observations and interviews revealed stakeholders were informed regarding local school improvement efforts and achievements. However, they indicated a lack of understanding for the same at the system level. When system leaders share system goals, progress, and achievements, it assists stakeholders in recognizing the collaborative efforts of the entire system in accomplishing the bishop's mission to increase unity among schools and share the good news of Catholic education in the Diocese of Knoxville, both within and outside of the Catholic community. You have something wonderful, so a wonderful opportunity and suggestion to communicate not only within your schools and community, also outside of that as well. As part of the teaching and learning process, we administer what is called the Elliott, which is an effective, is an instrument to look at instruction and student behavior within the classroom. So on Tuesday afternoon and all day Wednesday, we were out and visited all 10 of the schools. And it was either 88 or 89 classroom observations. So that's a pretty good number. The Elliott asks us as observers to look at student behavior. What are the students doing when we go into the room for a period of 20 minutes? And we're looking for behaviors that fall into one of these 7 theme areas. The middle column that says external review, those are the averages across those 88 or 89 observations that we did. The highest would be 4. So if you're looking at, for example, high expectations environment number 2, the average was 3.01 for that. The column on the far right that says AEN, that stands for Advanced Ed Network Average, AEN. So over the last year, every system that has undergone systems accreditation, they take all of the Elliott averages and come up with their network average. And it just serves as a benchmarking tool for you and all of us that are part of systems accreditation. It lets us know where we stand in relation to that. This is your all's first experience with the Elliott, so it is wonderful foundational data. It is very, very positive. It affirms a lot of what you know and what we've learned about your schools, and it also points you and affirms the directions that you've identified for yourself. You can certainly see that the highest area there is a well-managed learning environment, followed by a supportive learning environment which speaks directly to your mission within the Catholic schools in the Diocese of Knoxville, followed by an active learning environment. Your students are not sitting still. They are up and moving around and engaged in a lot of things. High expectations, equitable learning progress monitoring and feedback, followed by equitable learning. And you'll notice in every one of those areas, your averages exceed the Advanced Ed Network averages, and that's quite an accomplishment. Number 7 is the digital learning environment, and your average is slightly lower than the Advanced Ed Network average. However, your classrooms reflect a great deal of technology, a lot of equipment, a lot of hardware. Teachers are using that technology. Many of your schools are just now bringing in one-to-one initiatives or in the midst of training. What this is looking for, however, is the student use of technology. So I think you're right in sequence with what we know and what we experience in our own diocese. Now in education, we're really focusing on how do we get the technology into the hands of those students and have them be actively engaged. And I know you have professional learning and other experiences scheduled to continue to help you to do that. But these are very, very exceptional results. The second area that we're going to look at is leadership capacity. And this is where we look at your institutional purpose and direction, your mission, your vision as system and schools. We look at governance and leadership effectiveness. We analyze the results of your stakeholder feedback. We look at your improvement capacity, and we look at your results. We have our second powerful practice and the first of several in this particular area. The school leadership and staff at all levels of the diocese embrace a Catholic identity that is demonstrated through shared values and beliefs about teaching and learning, and supports challenging, equitable educational programs and formation experiences for all students that include achievement of learning, thinking, and life skills. And this really speaks to your mission as a Catholic diocese, as Catholic schools. Schools in the Diocese of Knoxville consistently foster a culture of shared values and beliefs that support the evangelizing mission of the Roman Catholic Church through core values to prepare scholars, leaders, and saints. Without exception, all stakeholder groups identify the expression of Catholic culture and identity as the greatest strength of the Catholic schools in the Diocese of Knoxville. Tremendous, tremendous. A second powerful practice: leadership and staff at all levels of the system foster a culture consistent with the system's purpose and direction. And our evidence and rationale: Bishop Sticka's vision of increasing unity among Catholic schools in the Diocese of Knoxville is implemented by Sister Mary Marta, Sadana Prater, pastors, Catholic school leaders, educators, and staff through their actions toward continuous improvement. All leaders and staff are collectively accountable for maintaining and improving conditions that support student learning and formation. The culture is characterized by collaboration and a profound sense of community. It is palpable. You can feel it, you experience it everywhere that we have gone. And again, congratulations. We have our next powerful practice is that system leadership consistently fosters and respects the autonomy of all school level leadership. Pastors, school leaders, and board members confirmed their autonomy to manage the day-to-day operations of each individual school. The governing policies, descriptions for the roles and responsibilities of personnel, a focus on cultivating current school leadership, and recognizing the need for the continued training of school boards reflect this autonomy. You have a very strong system. You pull together to be more unified, and you honor the diversity of individual parishes and schools. We offer an opportunity for improvement to engage more stakeholders in support of the system's purpose and direction. Using the mission statement as a foundation, the system can invite and engage appropriate and varied representatives from stakeholder groups in schools, parishes, and East Tennessee communities in support of the system's purpose and direction. Such actions will promote genuine trust, collaboration, and accountability with governing body members and stakeholders to foster appreciation of different gifts and enhance the learning and faith communities. The final area, the third area, is that of resource utilization. And this is where we look at the allocation and use of resources, the equity of the distribution of those resources, the level and the sustainability of those resources, and then the long-range capital and resource planning effectiveness. This is our first of two improvement priorities in this area. The improvement priorities are the areas to which Advanced Ed will hold the system accountable for reporting progress within 2 years and in an ongoing basis. The first is one, as I'll explain in the evidence and rationale that was surfaced during your self-study. The improvement priority reads, adopt and maintain standards for feasible 3 to 5 year financial plans for Catholic schools that include current and projected budgets and are the result of collaborative processes emphasizing faithful stewardship. And the evidence and the rationale, Catholic schools must adopt and maintain standards for operational vitality and define the norms and expectations for fundamental procedures to support and ensure viability and sustainability. When a school does not maintain standards for operational vitality, the continuation of academic excellence is threatened. Over time, even an academically rigorous school with strong Catholic identity will not survive without operational vitality. So it's really calling us to be even better stewards, to look at making plans, to know and understand the operations, the complexity of what goes into building a school budget, and how to project that and how to maintain that going into the future. Our second improvement priority is to enact a communications and marketing plan for Catholic schools developed in collaboration with Catholic school leaders and community stakeholders to increase enrollment in Catholic schools by building awareness of the evangelizing mission and academic excellence of Catholic schools in East Tennessee. Again, you had identified elements of this as part of your self-study. And the reason why this is so important is that, again, you have identified that, but that for Catholics, a contemporary multi-information approach to marketing using the latest technologies to reach target audiences will enhance efforts to increase enrollment in Catholic schools. Excellent Catholic dioceses and schools enact a comprehensive plan for institutional advancement based on a compelling mission through communications, marketing, enrollment management, and development. It's being intentional about getting the word out about how wonderful your Catholic schools are and what an opportunity opportunity they are for children within the community. Now that we've gone through each of the areas, we're going to look at the impact of your teaching and learning on student performance. We're going to look at the capacity of your leadership to guide and ensure the plan, the direction, the future direction of the schools, the utilization of resources to meet the needs of the students and the institution, and this is going to be used as a tool for you to conduct analysis and continuous improvement. And it's also where we connect everything together for you. On the left side, you can see the overall score, which is the average, and then below that, the three areas that we've talked about: teaching and learning, leadership capacity, and resource utilization. The middle column is the external review score. And then the far right column is that Advanced Ed Network average. Just like with the Elliott, all of the systems that went through this process over the last year, those scores were taken and averaged, and these are for benchmarking purposes. So when you look at the overall score for the Diocese of Knoxville at 291.16 in comparison to the Advanced Ed Network average of 278.03. So you far exceed that average. And when you look at the component parts, teaching and learning impact at 293.45, again exceeding the Advanced Ed Network average. Leadership capacity far surpassing 329.17, and resource utilization at 228.13. That is slightly below the Advanced Ed Network average. However, what we found and confirmed for you through your self-study is that you have a great deal of capacity and good leadership, both at the system and the individual school levels. You have exemplary results and programs and effective Catholic schools in terms of teaching and learning. We all have finite resources, and the resources that you do have, you are using the heck out of them because you are achieving, because of your leadership and your commitment to formation and education. And I don't think that that necessarily comes as a surprise to all of us in Catholic education. You know that you need to go out there and continue the fabulous work that you've done and increasing your financial assistance funds over these last several years. Look at attracting more students and more resources to continue to ensure wonderful Catholic education into the future. And this just shows your scores there. And the IEQ results indicate that the institution, the system, is performing within and well above acceptable levels compared to the expected criteria, as well as other institutions that have gone through this process. So it is with great pride and great celebration that we, as your external review team, are very excited to recommend to the Advanced Ed Accreditation Commission that the Diocese of Knoxville earn the distinction of accreditation by Advanced Ed. Congratulations. And you think it's like ending today? It's just beginning. The improvement priorities need to be addressed. They don't have to be completed. You just have to have your plans and be working toward them, and knowing how committed and industrious you all are, I'm sure you're just going to rush right home and start doing that. Give yourself some time to celebrate and then get back into it. But continue on this journey of improvement and meeting the high expectations that you have set for yourselves. And then also look at very deliberate and strategic actions to not only fulfill your mission, but to also be a part of Advance Ed's mission to ensure that every child, every day, is being prepared and achieving success for their future. On behalf of all of us here, I just want to thank you so much for your very warm hospitality and welcome. We are leaving with wonderful souvenirs from Knoxville, Tennessee, some homemade products and things that are unique to you. Yes. We are also leaving a few pounds heavier than when we came. But we want to thank you for your gracious hospitality, the respect, and everything that was part of our visit. And it was a delight and an honor for all of us to be here with you. And most of all, congratulations. I know it's been a long and a very deliberate journey. We applaud you and we congratulate you on this very, very wonderful accomplishment. Thank you all. Congratulations.
I am disappointed in the team because there is one Cubs fan amongst them. And you know my great love for the Cubs. But that's all right. I always pray for conversion of sinners. First of all, I want to thank the team. In my early years of priesthood in St. Louis, I was a member of teams that would evaluate our own diocesan schools. And so I know all the work, the interviews, the paperwork, the reading, the preparation. And but fortunately, I didn't have to leave the city or the diocese. You had to travel a little bit. But as you go back with some white lightning and some extra pounds. But I just want to thank you for all your efforts, because it really has made my day to see what the results of this process has been these 2 years, but especially this week. You know, I often think the Diocese of Knoxville is kind of a shy diocese in some ways. You know, we've lived on this reputation of being the smallest diocese in total population. You know, we're 2.3, 2.4%, however you count. But as I was thinking, you know, just a few years ago, our newspaper, I think we either came in first or second for the publication for the Pope's visit to the United States. We were number one, our little diocese. John Deinhardt in stewardship was just recognized by a national entity for our fundraising activities, both with the home campaign and the bishop's appeal, to be recognized by that. You know, our Hispanic office has been recognized for a long time, first under Lourdes and now under our new director. Lourdes, we pray that she's looking down on us from heaven every day. And even Brittany, who works with the young adults, is now the first non-Latino to be on the national board. And she's just flying in from Los Angeles as I speak. I didn't even know she was going to Los Angeles. Thank God for Facebook, you know, and Twitter and all that. You know, a few years ago, our diocese was recognized by National Catholic Leadership, you know, as number one in terms of how we are working together as a very young diocese and a very small diocese. So time and time and time again, we're being recognized, you know, in a variety of different ways. The Eucharistic Congress, you know, the conclusion of that week, the closing Mass was over 5,000 people. You know, so much has been accomplished, and to me, this is a wonderful achievement again. You know, we might think we're a small system, 10 schools. But every child in that system, whether it's 10 or 100,000, is important to their parents, to the community, and especially to God. To be reflections of Jesus, as I often say, in word and in the hands of Jesus, in the face of Jesus. And today we recognize the mind. and the intellectual capacity and the way that they portray that and how they interact with the community at large. You know, and so in some ways, like the recommendation about, you know, to get our word out is because we sometimes are hesitant to do that. But even in our communications office, we have dial notes and we have Notanda, and I was talking to Sister about maybe another way to use that in which we get the word out to all the parents involved. So I am just thrilled, you know, coming from St. Louis that has a strong Catholic population in the system. The Cardinal was the Archbishop of St. Louis, and also Philadelphia, where Catholic schools started, under Elizabeth Ann Seton and St. John Newman. So I know in his name and the name of all, especially the children, and then their parents, and the children's children from generations past. I just want to say thanks to Sister and Sedana and to Marion and the people in the education office. You know, again, small office, huge impact. To all of you who are involved in education, the presidents and principals and teachers, and to the Catholic, to the Chancery staff. You know, we supply so much kind of as part of the bone structure. You know, so we have much to be grateful for. I feel like declaring another Bishop's Day. You know, I was just thinking, there's a holiday called Bishop's Day, which I created. I was visiting a school, Our Lady of Perpetual Help, if you don't know this. It was right after I arrived, almost 8 years ago now. And I said to the pastor, Father Mike Nolan, that I wish I could give a day off, because I just saw this movie going my way again. And it was Big Crosby declared this holiday. And all the nuns went crazy because all the school kids disappeared, and a couple of them even stole some turkeys at that moment. And Father Nolan said, well, you're the bishop. You can. Go ahead. So I did. And then I announced it to the kids, and they're all cheering. And then one by one, the classrooms were sending in representatives, because I didn't pay attention. It was April 1st. They thought it was in April. And I said, no. I'm a powerful individual now. And then driving home, I thought, I can't do this just for one school, so that's how we got Bishop's Day. Now, we haven't had much snow, right? We haven't had much snow. And I got this idea, if it's okay with God, because I am in charge of Catholic schools here, right? Would it be, and I'm going to ask you this, because I was thinking, well, why don't we have like Cupcake Monday? In honor of all the work of everybody involved, could I designate another day off? Yes. How about a Saturday? Could I do that? Would you be in favor? Okay. No, not Saturday. Whereas hitherto and therefore what's that title always? By the authority of the Holy Apostolic See and by the favor of the something. What is it? I went to Catholic school. I got it all under control. By the favor of the Apostolic See. No, there's another title too. No, there's another one. By the authority of the Apostolic See and the grace of God. God, he's important. I hereby declare a holiday, as long as we don't get 15 days of snow. You know, honoring all the work that parents, all the stakeholders, and especially all the teachers and all, and they can tag it on to maybe, what do you think, the end of the Easter day? Easter, what do you think, Tuesday? What do you think? What would be the easiest? I'm sorry, I'm ignoring all you folks, but I'm a benevolent bishop, see. What do you think? You work it out, talk to Sister, and we'll call it Cardinals Day. Okay? Now, this is only going to be once, you know, because I don't want to have to compete, but he thinks it's for him. Baseball opens soon, you know? So it's a 2+, it's a no-win. So we'll have Cardinals Day. How's that? All right. Anyway, again, thanks to all of you for being here. Pray that we have no snow. And don't tell the state of Tennessee. But, you know, finally, this just designates the fact that now we have this accreditation, both on a state level, and on a a local level, I guess, because now all of our schools, we had one school that was not, but was working towards that. So now all 10 schools will be accredited, and I just want to say thanks to all of you, okay? God bless you. Do you want to say anything more? I gave a holiday again. I'm supposed to now give a blessing, but no, I'm the boss here. You know, the Cardinal was Archbishop in 2 large school systems and a papal elector in 2 elections, so he outranks me, and which he doesn't tell me much, only when he wants something for dinner. So anyway, Eminence, you want to come up and do a, see, I always win.
Well, I can't give a blessing without reiterating what the bishop said. I see this presentation was magnificent this afternoon. So that means, once again, great gratitude to all of you who have come, and great gratitude to all of you who have made it possible.
And he speaks in the name of the College of Cardinals.
Not today. The Lord be with you. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Our help is in the name of the Lord. May Almighty God bless you, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you.